Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Senior Safety Advice Podcast. This is the show dedicated to helping older adults live safely, confidently, and independently at home. I'm Esther Kane, a retired occupational therapist, certified aging in place specialist, and a dementia care specialist. And every single day, I'm here to bring you practical tips and real guidance that you can actually use. So, hey, before we get started, if you haven't already, I'd love for you to visit us at seniorsafetyadvice.com. There's so much there for you. And please, of course, subscribe to the podcast and our YouTube channel, wherever it is that you're listening to this from. And if this show has helped you at all, then certainly share it with someone that you love. It truly means the world to us because it helps us to share the podcast, to get it in front of other people. Now, today, we're talking about something that comes up a lot, and I mean, honestly, a lot. In families caring for aging parents, your mom or dad has started refusing visitors, friends, grandkids, maybe even you. And you're sitting there wondering, what's going on? Is something wrong? What do I do? Well, let's talk about it because this topic matters more than most people realize, and there is so much that you can do to help. So let's start right here. Your parent is saying no to visitors. Maybe they're canceling plans. Maybe they're telling you they just don't want company anymore. And it's confusing. It might even feel a little hurtful. But here's what I want you to hear first. This is more common, honestly, than you think. And it almost always means something. It's rarely just being stubborn. In my years as an OT, I worked with so many older adults who had quietly started pulling away from the people in their lives. And what I noticed again and again was that underneath that pulling away, there was almost always something deeper going on. There was fear, embarrassment, pain, exhaustion, or sometimes changes in the brain that make social situations feel overwhelming in a way they never did before. Social withdrawal in older adults is often a signal, not actually a choice. When a formerly social person begins refusing visitors, it deserves curiosity, not frustration, meaning you need to take a look and see what's going on. Now listen, I want to address something right now. A lot of families assume this is just about being difficult, or, they may something like, well, that's just how he is, or that's just how she is. Or they assume their parent is depressed and needs to snap out of it. But the truth is, there are many reasons an older adult might refuse visitors, and some of them are completely understandable when you think about it from their perspective. So let's walk through a few of the most common ones. First, physical changes. Maybe your parent is dealing with pain they haven't told you about, or they're more tired than they used to be. Hosting someone, even for a short visit, can feel like a lot of work when you're not feeling your best. There's the house to think about, the energy to hold a conversation, the getting up and down, providing some kind of refreshments. All of it adds up. Now, second, there's sensory or cognitive changes, and this is a big one. If your parent has any level of hearing loss, and so many adults do, I know I'm getting there, group conversations can feel really stressful. It's hard to follow along. It's embarrassing to ask people to repeat themselves over and over. So sometimes it's just easier to avoid the entire interaction. And for those of you caring for a parent with dementia or memory loss, this is especially important. Too many people in the house, too much noise, too much activity, it can cause what's called overstimulation. The brain gets flooded. And that can come out as agitation, confusion, or distress. Saying no to visitors might actually be your loved one's way of protecting themselves. For individuals living with dementia, social withdrawal or refusal of visitors can be a self-protective response to an environment that feels overwhelming. Smaller, quieter, more predictable interactions are often far more successful when you're dealing with someone who has a cognitive decline, especially dementia. All right, third, dignity and self-image. Now this one, honestly, I don't think gets talked about enough. Your parent may be embarrassed, Maybe the house isn't as clean as it used to be. Maybe they're not getting dressed the way they once did. Maybe they're aware that their memory is slipping and they don't want people to see that. Refusing visitors can be a way of holding on to dignity when so much else feels out of their control. And fourth, depression or anxiety. We can't not talk about this. Social isolation and depression are closely linked in older adults. Sometimes the withdrawal comes first. Sometimes the depression does. Either way, it's worth paying attention to. If your parent seems consistently low in mood, disinterested in things they used to enjoy, or is sleeping more than usual, well, that's absolutely worth a conversation with their doctor. So now that we understand some of the why, let's talk about what you can actually do, because there are real practical things that can help. I want you to know, don't try to fix the situation in one conversation. Approach it across several gentle, basically check-ins, I guess. Ask open questions. Listen more than you talk. All right. Start by having a gentle, curious conversation. Not a confrontation, not a lecture, just an honest, caring chat. Something like, "Hey, Mom, I've noticed you don't seem to want visitors lately. I just want to make sure you're okay. Can we talk about it?" Something like that. So let's take a moment here, because how you start that conversation really matters. If your parent feels like they're being pressured or interrogated, they're going to shut down. Absolutely. But if they feel like you genuinely care and you're not here to push them into anything, they're much more likely to open up. Now, here's something that I always recommend. Simplify the visit. If big family gatherings feel overwhelming to your parent, take those off the table for now. Instead, try one-on-one visits. Keep them short, keep them quiet. A half hour of calm, comfortable company with one person, maybe two, people that they feel safe with is worth so much more than an hour of chaos that leaves them exhausted. And think about timing too. Most older adults, especially those with dementia, do better earlier in the day. Mornings and early afternoons tend to be when energy and clarity are at their best. Late afternoon and evening can bring what's called sundowning in dementia, where confusion and agitation increase. So scheduling visits earlier in the day can make a real difference. I have a great video on the YouTube channel, seniorsafetyadvice.com, on sundowning. Check it out. Ask visitors to call ahead, even for short visits. Unexpected arrivals can feel jarring. A quick, kind of, "Hey, I'm stopping by at 2," gives your loved one time to feel prepared and in control. Another thing that can really help is giving your parents some control over the visit. Ask them who they'd like to see. Ask them what day works for them. Ask if they'd rather sit in the living room or out on the porch. These small choices matter so much. When we feel like we have control over our own life, even in small ways, we feel safer and more willing to engage. And for those of you who are caregivers for someone with dementia, please talk to the visitors ahead of time. Let them know what to expect. Ask them to come in calmly and quietly. Remind them not to quiz your loved one on names or dates. Just be present. Just be warm. The feeling of connection matters far more than the content of the conversation. I will say that families sometimes over-explain a loved one's condition to visitors in front of that person. Don't do that. That can feel humiliating. Brief the visitor beforehand, privately, so that your loved one's dignity is preserved during the visit. Why would you talk about someone in front of them? Don't do that. Now, here's something worth sitting with for a moment. Sometimes, no matter what we do, our parent is just not ready for visitors. And that's okay. Pushing too hard, even with the best intentions, can backfire and make the resistance even stronger. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to say, "We'll try again in a few weeks." Your parents' sense of safety and comfort matters more than the visit itself. That said, If the withdrawal is sudden, if it's accompanied by other changes like not eating, not sleeping, increased confusion, or a noticeable drop in mood, well, please talk to their doctor. A sudden change in social behavior can sometimes be an early sign of a medical issue. It's always worth checking. And for family caregivers, I want to say something directly to you guys. This situation is hard. It can feel like rejection. It can feel lonely. You're trying so hard to do right by your parent, and it sometimes feels like nothing is working. Please know you are not failing. This is genuinely difficult terrain. And for reaching out for help from a social worker, a geriatric care manager, or even a support group is not giving up. It's being smart. In fact, I encourage all family caregivers to find a support group, in person or online or both. They are an invaluable source of information and support. So here's where I want to leave you today. If your parent is refusing visitors, take a breath. Try to look at it with curiosity instead of frustration. Start small. Make visits shorter, quieter, and more on their terms. And keep showing up with love, even when the door feels closed, because connection matters. And your presence, even just a phone call, even just a quick check-in, can mean everything to someone who is quietly struggling. I'm telling you here, you've got this. And I'm here cheering you on every step of the way. All right, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. It genuinely means a lot that you're here. If you want more tips, resources, and guidance, then head on over to seniorsafetyadvice.com. That's your go-to home for everything we talk about on this podcast and much more. And if you or someone you know is looking for local aging-in-place specialists, home modification professionals, or elder care resources, then please visit aginginplacedirectory.com. There are wonderful people there ready to help. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast or our YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode, and share this one with anyone you think could use it today. I'm Esther Kane. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you another day right here on the Daily Senior Safety Advice Podcast. Take care of yourself and each other.